Carthage rose from the sea like a jewel, founded by Phoenician settlers from Tyre around 814 years before Christ. Its harbors shimmered with bronze sails and cargoes from every corner of the Mediterranean. The city was a marvel of engineering, protected by 23 miles of walls and a circular harbor that could hide hundreds of warships. At its center stood a military dockyard accessible only through a secret channel. Commerce fueled its power, trading silver, gold, ivory, glass and purple dye across Africa, Iberia and the Levant. It was a maritime empire born not from conquest, but cunning and control of the sea. Carthage's ruling elite formed a merchant oligarchy, with councils and judges rather than kings. Its senate of elders made decisions behind closed doors, where wealth spoke louder than war cries. Its religion was mysterious and ancient, devoted to Baal Hammon and the goddess Tanit. Rituals of fire and sacrifice were offered in great temples and tofits, hidden from foreign eyes. Naval strength defined Carthage, with fast triremes manned by mercenaries and seafarers from Numidia, Iberia and beyond. Its fleet was the most advanced in the ancient world, guarded like sacred treasure. Rome, once a minor rival across the sea, watched Carthage grow with unease. In 264, the First Punic War erupted over control of Sicily, sparking one of history's longest and bloodiest conflicts. Carthage dominated at sea, but underestimated Roman resilience. Rome built an entire navy from scratch, training crews on land before daring to face the Punic fleet. They introduced the corvus, a boarding bridge that transformed sea battles into infantry brawls. This innovation turned the tide, and Rome claimed Sicily after 23 years of brutal fighting. Carthage paid dearly, both in silver and lost prestige. Its western provinces rebelled, and mercenary armies once loyal turned on their masters in the chaos that followed. But the Barcid family rose to reclaim Carthage's strength, pushing into Iberia to establish a new empire. General Hamilcar Barca laid the foundations, but his son Hannibal would make history tremble. In 218, Hannibal crossed the Alps with 90,000 troops, 12,000 cavalry, and 37 war elephants. He lost half his men in snow and battle, but emerged into Italy like a storm from the mountains. He crushed Rome's armies at Trebia and Lake Trasimene using terrain and deception. At Cannae, he executed a double envelopment, surrounding and destroying a Roman force twice his size. 70,000 Romans died in one day, including senators and consuls. Rome was paralyzed with fear, yet Hannibal did not march on the city itself. Carthage withheld reinforcements, hoping Hannibal's presence alone would win the war. Instead, Rome adopted Fabian tactics, avoiding battle and wearing Hannibal down through attrition. Rome struck back by invading Iberia, defeating Hannibal's brothers and seizing the silver-rich territories. The young Scipio Africanus emerged as a brilliant strategist, admired even by his enemies. In 204, Scipio invaded Africa, forcing Carthage to recall Hannibal after 16 years abroad. The two legends met at the Battle of Zama in 202, where Roman discipline and tactics broke the Punic line. Carthage surrendered, stripped of its fleet, empire, and independence in foreign policy. It survived as a weakened state, still wealthy, but now under Rome's shadow. Yet Carthage thrived in trade, quickly rebuilding its economy and influence. This frightened Roman senators who believed Carthage could rise again if left unchecked. Cato the Elder ended every speech with Carthago delenda est, Carthage must be destroyed. Rome waited for a reason, and in 149 it found one in a dispute with a nearby African tribe. The Third Punic War began with impossible demands. Rome ordered Carthage to disarm completely and abandon its city to rebuild inland. The Carthaginians chose death over exile. They armed every citizen, melted gold for weapons, and built catapults from burned wood. The siege lasted 3 years, during which starvation, disease, and slaughter claimed tens of thousands. Carthage fought block by block, floor by floor, in what became an apocalyptic end. Roman legions finally broke through the walls in 146. They burned the city for 17 days and enslaved the survivors. The temples were looted, the libraries lost, and the culture buried beneath ash. Rome claimed to have salted the earth, ensuring no city would rise there again. Over 7 centuries of power were erased in a single act of annihilation. Carthage, once the rival of empires, became dust beneath Roman boots. But the memory endured. Hannibal's tactics became military doctrine, studied by generals from Napoleon to Eisenhower. Roman historians who celebrated Carthage's fall also preserved its greatness. They could not erase what had burned so brightly. The ruins of Carthage remain in modern Tunisia, overlooking the sea where its fleet once ruled. Columns rise from the dust, silent but unbroken. Carthage fell not from weakness, but from strength that threatened a rising empire. It was destroyed not for what it had done, but for what it could do again. Legends are not buried with stones. They live in fear, in fire, in names whispered across time. Carthage was not a city. It was a force of will. Dig deep enough and you will still hear it breathe. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to see future videos. Share if you would like to support the channel.